Making loadouts in Showdown doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, guys, I've literally seen people use the Martini Henry with the hand crossbow. I mean, is it not obvious enough that that is not going to be a viable loadout? Obviously, you forgot the spyglass. That's what completes this loadout. What are you thinking? But on a serious note, this is going to be 4 considerations that you guys need to take into account when making a loadout in Hunt Showdown 1896. As well, if you guys like any of this type of content, don't be afraid to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more future content like this, as well as catching me over on Twitch at NOAURA TV, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST, and Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. EST. So come by and say hi. I'd love to see you over there. But let's get into the video. The first thing you're going to need to consider when making a loadout is the price. Obviously, if you only have 1,000 hunt dollars, taking a Mosin might not be the best in your interest. However, if you have a lot of hunt dollars, then taking a Mosin isn't going to hurt you at all. So of course, if you're balling on a budget and don't have that much to your name, then taking a gun that costs almost 500 hunt dollars, aka half of your whole bank account, is not going to be a smart move. And then add an uppercut to it and you're practically at 0 hunt dollars, or enough to get your spyglass, of course. But this one's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have a lot of hunt dollars, you're gonna have to make it stretch further. So to end this one, let me go over 2 loadouts that I would recommend for somebody who is very low on hunt dollars. So if you absolutely have to ball on a budget and go for some cheap stuff, you can always do the free hunter, which obviously you could pick from one of these 4, and it'll give you a random set of health bars, 1 random trait, and then a random loadout. All 4 of these hunters will give you either a dusters or a regular knife, a med kit, then 1 consumable, and then a large and small slot. You can also recruit them and then take their free stuff from them if you genuinely don't want to use a free hunter and you want to get your own traits. You can siphon all of this off. So unequip, go and click space, unequip, take all of that, and then get a new hunter, which 100 isn't too much. So we get 100 with the traits, of course, and then we can add those things just like that. Like I said, this is if you really don't want to use a free hunter that practically has no traits, at the cost of 100 for a regular hunter, and then you pretty much have a loadout like this. That is one way to go if you genuinely do not have any money. And like I said, you get to pick between any of the 4 free hunters, and you can hire actually all 4 of them if you have enough slots, and then just pick and choose what you want, and it's free gear. So if you genuinely don't have any money, this is a way to go. But let me quickly go over 2 loadouts that I would recommend for somebody who genuinely doesn't have a lot of hunt dollars. For the first loadout, we have the Frontier 73C. It has a slightly smaller magazine than the Ranger 73, but it pretty much performs exactly the same. It's going to be a very solid budget option for the price. Of course, only at 41 hunt dollars, this is very cheap and it can be very efficient as well. You just have to remind yourself to reload a little more often than if you were to have the Ranger. You can also use Iron Eye with this, which does increase the fire rate and it lets you stay ADS while taking those shots, so the follow-up shots are a lot easier. Then for the secondary, we have the nice and trusty hand crossbow. This is going to provide you with the potential to shoot and kill 1 hunter pushing close quarters to you, and is a good utility for taking out all sorts of AIs. I'm not going to recommend you take any different ammo types on this, just the stock is good enough, and this will provide as a very good close range option for you in this time of broke NC. You're just gonna have to be a beautiful Bayou Brokey bad boy when rocking this loadout. It's all good though. And then one thing, you don't need to actually fill out your tool slots. As long as you have a med kit and a melee, you are more than capable. Of course, the med kit coming to a total of 30 hunt dollars, and then your knife, which is very good for PvP over here at 40 hunt dollars. Then we're going to bring 2 weak vitalities because they are very solid. Their use times are slightly faster than the regular vitalities, almost about a second actually. And as you can see right there, it says it immediately restores 75 health. And you don't have to fill the rest of the consumable slots out either, but it is completely up to you. Like I said, this whole loadout is my first recommendation for people who are having a rough time and do not have a lot of hunt dollars. go to this loadout, but also on top, let's make sure we get Iron Eye and make sure you have Bolt Thrower for the crossbow. Those are essential. It is feasible for you to not use Iron Eye on the Frontier 73C, but I don't recommend it as it is far superior for landing follow-up shots. And Bolt Thrower is pretty much essential if you have anything with the crossbows in this game. Now, this one's going to be a little different. This is going to be the second recommended loadout for people who are very, very low on hunt dollars. And this one is going to be the Romero 77, which is a single shot shotgun, and its pellet spread is very, very tight for a shotgun. It's actually the tightest in the game, meaning that where you aim in at, it should be very, very solid. And then we have the Schofield for the secondary. Since it's a medium ammo pistol, it's going to hold its damage and have a little more damage than most of the compact ammo pistols, but it is not the best gun in the game. Obviously, this is the budget side of things. Pretty much just if you're scraping by with hunt dollars and trying to get into the groove of making money, the Schofield will do a decent damage at the medium distances, and that can help complement the Romero, which is really only good for the close quarter engagements. And then we're keeping the med kit and the knife the same. The knife mainly just because it is a really good PvP tool when you're close up. Let's say you miss your Romero shot, the next best thing is to pull out your knife and go in for the melee. Then we're just keeping the weak fatalities because these are very solid and only come in at a price of $20 hunt dollars a piece, bringing this total to $253 hunt dollars. And the good thing about this loadout, you don't really need any traits. The Schofield is fine without any traits, and so is the Romero. So put the traits on how you see fit. And last, I should say, obviously, if you're playing with teams and you want choke bombs, you can add those in to the cost as well. But I'm just saying, if you're truly penny pinching out here, then you don't need chokes to be viable. These are the main things I would recommend. Now let's get into the second consideration I think you guys should have for making loadouts in Hunt Showdown 1896. The second consideration is distance viability and overall how your loadout will perform at different distances. Now let's say you bringing something with a scope, which is going to be mainly good for a long distance. You're going to want to have something that complements this. And I know this sounds self-explanatory, but not everybody understands this perfectly. If you're bringing something mainly used for long range, you're going to want a sidearm or a secondary that is going to be good close quarters, since you already have your long range taken care of. So you're going to want to use any of the semi-automatic pistols, the double action pistols, something like a LeMat or a hand crossbow, because those also have single shot modes where you can take out a single hunter that might be close and personal with you. Now on the flip side, if you have a shotgun, you're going to want to make sure you take a medium or a long ammo pistol so you can do a decent damage at a medium to long range distance. You don't want to be stuck out in the open with a Romero and a secondary that is something like a compact pistol or a double action or semi-automatic pistol, because those two weapons are both mainly meant for close range. Or you could throw on the 6-point upgrade trait Quartermaster, which allows you to have one 3-slot weapon as well as a 2-slot weapon in the same loadout. Meaning you could bring something that is good at long range and medium range, like a Mosin, and pair it with something like the Romero hand cannon, which is completely going to cover your close range and completely complement the Mosin. So just running through it again, if you have a long distance or medium distance primary, make sure you're taking something that complements it from a secondary perspective. But if you're not using Quartermaster, anything that has a fast fire rate is going to be what you want to pair with a long range primary, and then vice versa. If you have a close range primary, you're going to want to pair something that might have a little more punch to it and potentially shoots a little slower, like the medium and long ammo pistols. The next consideration is going to be ammo type. If you're going to bring something like the Mosin, of course, it's going to give you a smaller ammo pool because it is a long ammo bullet. Then you might want to think about potentially increasing that ammo pool between your primary and your secondary. Now, what do I mean? I mean, if you had a Caldwell conversion pistol, which is a compact ammo pistol, this would not buff your ammo pool for your Mosin at all. You would have your regular ammo pool for your compact pistol and your long ammo rifle. But if you brought something else as your secondary that shared ammo between the two guns, then your ammo pool would be shared. Therefore, however many bullets you would have got off of your secondary, your primary can use it as well. So instead of bringing a conversion in a Mosin, try swapping it out for a Sparks pistol or an uppercut. Since the Sparks pistol has less in the magazine, you are going to be afforded more spare ammo in the total ammo pool for your long ammo loadout versus the uppercut, which has a bigger magazine. Therefore, it doesn't add as many bullets overall total to the ammo pool that is shared between the guns. Now, on the flip side, if you wanted to use a Ranger or a Frontier, as well with a compact pistol, you are going to greatly increase the amount of shared ammo between the two because it is a smaller bullet and you get rewarded with more ammo. So this is something as well to consider when making your loadouts. If you have the same ammo types between your primary and your secondary, you will have the benefit of being able to use that extra ammo from your sidearm with your primary. This also works with special ammos. So if I have a Ranger with high velocity as well as a Bornheim with high velocity, these special ammos will share and I can use between the two guns. Side note, this only works in the same ammo class, meaning compact, medium, and long. If I wanted to use a special ammo for my Ranger on my primary with high velocity and then share it between the medium ammo packs high velocity, this won't work because the bullets are not in the same class. The last thing to think about when making a loadout in Hunt Showdown 1896 is how you complement your teammates' loadouts. It's not always practical for everybody to rock the same exact thing when playing in a team. If you guys are all going to rock marksman or sniper scopes and actually end up in the boss lair killing the boss before the teams pull up, they might pull up a little before you actually anticipated, and now you have to defend yourself with rifles that have scopes on them in the boss lair. I usually like to gauge what my teammates are rocking and play off of that. It's a good thing to use pretty much the opposite of what your teammates are doing if they are both doing the same type of loadout. So if my teammates are both rocking medium distance stuff, I'm going to probably bring a shotgun just in case we end up inside. At least one of us can take on the teams that are going to inevitably be coming by. And then your teammates can still poke out at a medium distance or catch a long snipe or something like that. Don't be afraid to talk to your teammates, ask what type of loadouts they want to make, and as well tell them what type of loadouts you want to bring, and maybe even ask them to play off of you if they didn't watch this video to know that they need to be taking considerations like this. Like I said, this one isn't as hard, but it is very important and something that you guys all need to think about when playing Hunt Showdown 1896. I understand that this was mainly for beginners. A lot of pros that have thousands of hours, they don't need to hear most of this stuff. They know what to pair with what and how to play within teams and different loadouts. But if you did enjoy this and made it to the end, thank you very much. I genuinely appreciate all the love and support. And if you've ever been interested in playing solo and want to know the ultimate solo guide, a lot of people are telling me good things and telling me they want more. Click right here, check that out. And until then, I'll see you in the bayou.